Hello and welcome to Magical Travel Adventure. I am Lauren, your host, and today we are going to talk about my favorite picks for rides at Epcot with toddlers. If you are new here, hello, I am Lauren. I'm a travel advisor. I specialize in Disney, Universal, and Alaskan cruising, and I help you prioritize what's most important for your vacation so you can enjoy and see what you want, not what everyone tells you to want. All right, so if you are going to Epcot and you have toddlers, so I'm talking about kids maybe 2 to 4, 2 to 5 that are going to Epcot. Every ride is not going to be appropriate for your kid. And if you're trying to figure out, like, oh, should I go to Epcot? Like, will they like Epcot? I can without a doubt say that it's my son's favorite park. He's 4 right now. He's been a few times and it's always been his favorite park. He wants to go there all the time. We actually get park hopper tickets specifically because he loves going to Epcot every single day. He wants to go to Epcot every single day of our vacation. And it's not always to ride rides. Sometimes it is to ride the rides, but a lot of times he just likes walking around. There's scavenger hunts that they have also there, and he loves doing the scavenger hunts. So there's different reasons why we go to Epcot a lot, and the rides are part of it, but some of it is just there's a lot more freedom and there's a lot more at Epcot where you don't have to make so many plans and it doesn't have to be so scheduled. So it's a little more relaxed, which is what toddlers are going to want because today they like this, tomorrow they like that. And some of it allows them to be a little more kiddie, like it's not so regimented, like we're going to a ride, we're going to wait in line, we're going to get off the ride, we're going to go to the next ride. That doesn't work for toddlers all day long. So we have to think about how can we structure a day where they have a little more freedom. And I think Epcot gives that toddlers a little more freedom where it's not like ride, 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 wait in line, wait in line, wait in line, get off the ride, get on the ride, get in the stroller, get out of the stroller. It's a little more like, okay, like we could hang out here for an hour and watch these animals. So that's one of the nice things about Epcot. So let's talk about my tips about what I think are the best for kids. So, my number one option is the Seas with Nemo. And this is a ride where there's no height requirement. And it kind of looks like the same shells that you would see in the Little Mermaid ride in the Magic Kingdom. And you're just kind of going through this slowly, and you can see the different story of finding Nemo, and it's not as traumatizing to a parent when you're going through it, let me tell you, as the movie is. And I like it. I should also say that, this is a very accessible ride. So if you have different needs, this ride is definitely one of the ones that is accessible to, I would say, almost all people. So, I really like this ride. When you exit this ride, you are brought into an aquarium, and it's 2 floors of an aquarium that you can look around and see different fish. There's dolphin shows, there's different things happening. There's manatees, there's all different stuff. And my son loves that part. So that's what I'm talking about, like the toddler time. Like, okay, so you're riding this ride, and that's maybe like 5-10 minutes, but then you get off and then you can spend time just walking around and looking at the different fish, looking at the different things that are going on in the aquarium. So that kind of gives the kids a little more freedom to kind of be kids and not just run ride to ride. Now, in that same location, there is Turtle Talk with Crush. So it's once you come out of Seas with Nemo, there is a spot where you can go with Turtle Talk to Crush, or you can just do one or the other. You don't have to do both. And this is sort of a live animated experience. So Crush from Finding Nemo comes in, and he's live talking with you, with the audience. So the kids can sit up front, or you can also, my child always chooses to sit with me. Um, and he interacts with people. He'll ask for questions in the audience, and there is a cast member there that's bringing the microphone around to different people. And it's about a 15-minute show, and I love it. My son loves it. He's highly engaged in the show, and you don't have to talk if you don't want to. And if your kid's really into it, they might get called on to ask a question or answer a question or things like that. But it's definitely a lot of fun. And again, it's still in that building where the aquarium is, so you really can do a lot in that one area, and it's air conditioned and it's covered. So if it's raining outside, this is a great place to go. If it is super, super hot and you are just needing a break, this is a great place to go. It's also dark. I don't want to say dark, dark, but it's darker than obviously outside. So if maybe you have a toddler that's even sleeping, this might be a good location to go because you can cool off in the air conditioning and they can maybe sleep in their stroller. Frozen Ever After. This is a ride where you get into a boat, and it's in the Norway Pavilion of Epcot. And you get into the boat, and there's no lap bar, which pretty much means there's no height requirement. And I will say it does have a little dip at the end. It's very similar to the dip in Pirates of the Caribbean at the Magic Kingdom. And it's a cute little ride talking about the story of Frozen. The boat does go backwards, just so you're aware. My son is super, super skittish, and the only thing that he was ever afraid of was the snow monster. And he's not really afraid of the snow monster. I think it just startled him the first time we rode it, but he wanted to ride it over and over and over again. So he did like it. But I did ride this when I was pregnant, and I was surprised at how much I felt it when I was pregnant with that little drop. It's not like a huge drop, but that little drop will just be aware of it. I was about 4.5 months pregnant, and I remember I felt it, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't think I should have done that ride." So just be aware of that. That's just a thing that I went through. You can decide if it's up to you. I will say there is a chance that you're going to get wet. It seems like you never used to get wet, and now you're always getting wet in on this ride. So just be aware of that if you're trying not to get wet or something, or your kid doesn't like being wet or getting wet. Put them all the way in the middle, and hopefully they won't get wet. My fourth option is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and this is in the France Pavilion. So this is one of the newer rides that is in Epcot, and it's super popular. If you're going for a Genie Plus, I will say that you better get this one first before you get anything else, because this is the one that will sell out through the day the fastest. I like this ride. You do have to wear 3D glasses, but I find that they're very sturdy. And my son really liked this ride. Now we have seen Remy in the movie, Ratatouille, sorry. But it's just kind of fun. You sit in this little mouse, and it's a trackless thing, but you kind of go around. It's very similar to Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway in Hollywood Studios with the track. And you do kind of spin around and move around. But I think it's a lot of fun. And some people say they get a little nauseous on it, and I am super, super sensitive, and I've never felt that. I don't know if it's always because I'm sitting up front in the mouse, but it's 2 rows, like the front and the back. So it's about 4 people that can fit in there. With kids, sometimes you can smush more kids in there. But yeah, so we're talking about 4 people total on the ride. So you're pretty much getting the same angle as both things. But I've never really had an issue with it. But just be aware, if you are super motion sickness or your kid is, then just be aware of that. The last ride that I have is Grand Fiesta Tour. And this is a ride in Mexico, and Donald Duck is kind of themed throughout the ride. And it's just a very basic ride. And oftentimes parents say, Wow, that was so amazing. And the kids are the ones that are like, "Oh my gosh, can we do that again?" I don't know. It really speaks to children for some reason, and it's just a very basic boat ride going through Mexico, but it's very calm, and there's no rush to it. There's no drop. There's no anything like that. So it's just a basic boat ride. Again, it's great. It's inside, it's air conditioned, it's covered. So just be aware of that. Now, beyond these four rides, I sort of talked about it before. There isn't really that like the other rides, a lot of them have um height requirements. A lot of people are going to say like, why didn't you say Spaceship Earth? I don't think Spaceship Earth is very good for kids because you are stuck on this ride for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I don't toddlers are very unpredictable. I did not take my son the first time we went, and I'm super glad we didn't because I don't think he would have done very well. Now that he was 4 this last trip when he went on, he did much better, and he actually did it 2 or 3 times, and the only part that he liked was when we were going backwards and it looked like we were in space. All the other stuff going along, he didn't really care about that. So you kind of need to know your kid, and this is not something that you want to go to the bathroom before you go on that ride. And you just want to make sure that your kid is not afraid of the dark because there are some really dark parts to it. So just make sure about that. What I will say is in the countries, there's a lot of things that you can go and explore and see with the kids. So don't feel like it's Epcot. Okay, that's it. We're not really going to do it. Toddlers aren't going to be able to tolerate like full day go, 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 go. So you're going to be taking it in smaller bites anyways. So make sure that, you keep that in mind also when you're planning your trip also. If you have any questions, please put them below so I can answer them about Epcot. And if you would like help planning your next vacation, you can reach out to me. My information is all below. And I will see you next time on Magical Travel.